My body is ready. Is that appropriate for a game like this? Anyway, thanks for checking out the video. This is Sho, and I'm going to be bringing a first thoughts video for the recently released in Japan Neptunia Senran Kagura Ninja Wars. So this has definitely been a game that's been on my radar. I absolutely adore the Neptunia series. I played it for I played it since way back in the PS3 era. And I've actually had a long time running with Senran Kagura as well, playing the original one back on the 3DS many years ago. So, obviously, if it's something that's Neptunia, I'm always trying to get my hands on it. And Ninja Wars is one game I really wanted to play. Obviously, it came out quite a while back on the PS4. But, didn't have the chance to really grab it back then. But here it is now, Switch port released. So let's talk about it a little bit. Just to preface this of course is a first thoughts video. So this is by no means my official review of the game. This is just me giving a little bit of, observations I've noticed. I've played the game for roughly about 7 hours now. And I just wanted to post a little video for some people who might be considering that they want to pick it up, think about getting the collector's edition, maybe have a Japanese import coming. So let's talk a bit about it. Now, of course, go into the basics, just story, gameplay, and performance. So story is just kind of the usual shenanigans, right? It's Neptunia. So, you have all of the fourth wall breaks galore for everyone. General premise this time around is that the goddesses that we all love from game industry are paired up with all of our favorite shinobi ninjas from Senran Kagura, and they're sort of like fighting over some kind of shared kind of crystal, and then suddenly out of nowhere this Steam Legion robots show up, and then shenanigans ensue. I mean, it's a Neptunia game, so you're not really getting too much in terms of plot, so to speak, but it does have a lot of really good humor in it. It has a lot of really fun references, fourth wall breaks, typical shenanigans for Neptunia and the like. So that's that. I'm not going to go too much into the story past that right now. As for the gameplay, now the gameplay is kind of interesting. Now, obviously, there's been probably a lot of videos made on this, so I won't spend too long on it. You probably look up some of the PS4 videos if you were really interested, but you have the usual kind of visual novel Neptunia cutscenes for the plot. And then in terms of the actual gameplay itself, it plays a lot like the Senran Kagura battles. So you kind of have like the 3D movement and the environments. You have the skill system and skill triggers. You have a lot of the RPG elements from Neptunia, like different equipments, consumable items, levels to gain. The world map itself, to select everything, is basically ripped directly from Neptunia. Honestly speaking, I definitely was getting some vibes. So I'll get a little bit more into the performance of this in a bit, but for anyone who's played the Hyperdimension Neptunia Action Unleashed on the PS Vita, definitely feels like that, just with some minor improvements, I guess, from the original, because that game was quite frustrating for me, because it wasn't quite Muso, but tried to be close enough. I think Senran Kagura in general sort of expanded on that formula from the basis, and it worked a lot better, but yeah, for this game, yeah, I definitely was getting, Action Unleashed vibes, but yeah, let's talk about the performance now. So, I love the art style. Visuals are nice, quote unquote. But I think the key point is that the visuals are great with the story beats, right? You have the beautiful art from Neptunia that doesn't really need much in terms of processing. But the in-game visuals are a bit grainy. Actually, they're quite a bit grainy, and it seems like it's a little out of focus. It definitely looks rough. This was probably not the easiest thing to port over from the PS4 to the Switch. And then, with the character models, you, of course, have usual clipping issues, the hairs going through the armor and, all that happy stuff. There's also some issues of enemy pop-in. It happened, I think, once or twice when I was going through some of the levels that I was running, and then suddenly an enemy just kind of spawned midway through. But nothing that really crippled my chances of winning any battles. This isn't like Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires, where like the lack of spawning actually would indicate my death or my loss. So nothing too big. overall, I think this might be due to the fact that it's kind of taken from, again, I'm going back to Action Unleashed for this. The inputs feel quite janky and really laggy. Like, some of the movements seem really, really off. So, I mean, this is an IF game, so this doesn't have the Koei Tecmo Muso levels of love. But honestly, like, sometimes it just feels a little bit too slow or a little bit too off. And that might be a little bit trippy, considering that, again, this is considered more of a modern game. I mean, if we're going talking about like Action Unleashed from like 5, 6, 7 years ago, I get it, but yeah, it just doesn't feel as fast as it should be, especially that I have to hold in a button to sprint, and my basic running speed seems extremely slow. Additionally, I feel like there's quite a lot of load times. Obviously, you know, this is kind of common, I guess, for some Neptunia games, loading through cutscenes, but I feel like there's a lot of loading, and it's a bit more loading than I like to have. But with that said, in terms of the actual gameplay experience, I didn't have any drops during battles, no massive frame rate issues, so I think so far it's so good performance-wise, but it just really kind of tones down the visual fidelity, which may be a make or break for some people. Again, we're getting it on the go portable, so it's fine. In terms of censorship, I know this is a big point with a lot of people. I think it's exactly as the PS4 port was. So whatever censorship or presumed censorship went into that is going into this game too. So I remember, like, for Senran Kagura, obviously clothes would be shattering if you take too much of a hit. That does not happen at all in this game, at least from what I've seen in the first like 5 to 7 hours of play. So take it as it will. Anyway, that's just kind of my first thoughts on Senran Kagura, Neptunia Ninja Wars. Again, I'm really happy to play this. I'm a big fan of the Neptunia series, so it's great that I'm finally able to try this out since I don't have my PS4 anymore. And yeah, let me know below in the comments if you've had this before on the PS4, if you're looking to pick this up when it comes out in probably a few weeks in April, right? And yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. And yeah, if you liked the video, please be sure to like. And if you want to send your love, do be sure to subscribe to the channel. Every little bit helps. So thank you for sending your love. With that said, this is Show, and I'll catch you later. Cheers!